What's up, people? It's your boy Slide. In this video, I'm going to talk about the rise in solitude. See, solitude is the state of being alone. And to many people living in America and parts of Canada, being alone is by choice. And to many others, is not by choice. So, when you start to understand how these things are, it will give you a better understanding on why people do certain things alone. This is what you have to understand. We are living in a increased social isolation. And a lot of times you don't really notice it because when you see people in public, you see some people in groups of 2 or 3 or more, right? So you never really notice it. But if you really examine it, like if you look at it from, let's just say, if you, okay, lunchtime. Lunchtime is usually anywhere between 11 through 1 o'clock, right? That's where most companies or most employees in companies take their lunches, right? If you go to these restaurants, what do you see most of the time? You usually see people sitting by themselves. Like, you can find like many tables, right, in a restaurant, and you're gonna find a lot of people by themselves. And that's just the way it is. And I understand why it's like this. Part of it is because some people are focused on their technology in the sense where they can talk to people through their social media accounts. So they don't see need to talk to others, which is normal. Again, that's normal. That's not a bad thing. Okay? Then you have another thing where some people have this social cliques. They have their main group of friends or people they talk to, so they feel no need to talk to others. And I think that's one of the biggest issues right now, because some people have this thing of social cliques. I have my main friends I talk to. I don't have to meet anybody else. You have these things where people just don't want to meet anybody new. It's like when you go to your job, there are many employees you may like. You may like talking to them. You may like spending time with them at the job. But the moment you clock out, it's like, I don't want to see this person outside work. That's how it is for some people. Okay? So now we live in this state of isolation because if you try to hang out with people who don't want to hang out with you, it'll be as if you're clingy or you're a creep. You know, because we have this new behavior in society where if you try to hang out with people and they don't feel the same way, they will look at you as if you're a creep or there's something wrong with you. So we now, as people, do things alone. Like, I see this stuff all the time where so many people are just walking alone. Granted, some people are happy, you know, but many people, they're not happy. Because it's like, what kind of life are you going to live if you just work, make money, and no one to socialize with? See, socializing doesn't mean you hang out with somebody once in a blue moon. No, it's when you hang out with people on a regular monthly basis. Like every month, you have people you know where you can just talk to, hang out, and just chill. You know? That's how it is. But many people don't have that option because most people do not know their neighbors. And in many cases, they choose not to know their neighbors. There's some people who live right next to you. Some people never take the time to know who they are. They never like take 2 minutes to know who they are. They may say, "Hey, hi, how's it going?" And they keep it pushing. But that's a bad thing because if you go to these foreign cultures in some of these countries, in some of these other countries, they know their neighbors because it's like if you live near somebody, it makes sense to know who they are. It makes perfect sense. You get it? But in America and Canada, people do not like to know their neighbors. There's so many people today who I don't know how to describe it. Canada is the exact same thing as the United States, especially in Vancouver. Yeah, people there are very isolated. See, when you go to these major cities like Seattle, Vancouver, when you walk down the street, of course you're going to see people together. Yes, that's a fact. You will see people talking to each other. You will see people around each other. Yes, that's normal. But what I'm trying to tell you guys is that if you really look at the people, majority of them are walking alone. And if you go and read these articles about Vancouver and Seattle, many people are saying that they have no one to talk to. People don't understand how this has an effect on the mind. It really does. Like, I'm one of those people where I have become accustomed to doing things alone. Because I'm so used to it now. People I know some of them don't live around me. Some refuse to keep in contact. And some people don't like things I like. For example, someone like me, I like driving around the city. I like driving around to new cities to explore. Many people don't like doing those things. So guess what? I started doing these things alone. That's what I do. I've traveled by myself many times and I've had a good time. You know, sometimes I talk to people, sometimes I meet random people when I travel, you know, chop it up, talk, go my way. There's some things I've done that I like doing. But people I know don't like doing these things, so it's kind of like I'm not going to force them to do it. You know, if you have any activities that you like, make sure the people you include like those things too. You know, like I have for someone like me, I like driving to new cities. I like to explore, check out random things, see how things look. Yeah, I've been to many cities around Seattle area that look very, very nice. Nice infrastructures, nice buildings, and that's what intrigues me. I like looking at cities that are doing well. Same thing in Vancouver. I go to Vancouver sometimes. I like to drive around the city of Vancouver. I like to drive around the neighboring cities around Vancouver because I like to learn about like real estate. I like to learn about how local governments work. I mean, I love driving around. That's one of my favorite hobbies, driving around and exploring new cities. But people I know don't like doing that stuff. Some people I know only like to go to a city if they have to be there. So you need to understand how these things are. Okay? You have to do what you like, and the people you include like those things too. But it's not like that these days. We are now living in a complete social isolation state. Doesn't matter where you go in the US, it's the same thing. Okay? You'd be surprised how in New York City, they say New York City is pretty much one of the most populated cities in the country. New York City, over 4 million people. And yet you have people out there who talk to nobody. You have people out there who cannot find dates. So being in a big city doesn't mean anything. At least in the US, it doesn't mean anything. When you look at the television, when we look at the media in general, they promote these major cities like Vancouver, Seattle, New York, and all the like in Toronto and all the other big places, right? They will show you all the great things. They'll show you the nice buildings, they'll show you the greatest infrastructures, they'll show you the people, and they'll show you like the activities they have over there, the great museums. They show you all this stuff, right? So you say, oh my gosh, I have to move to these areas. When you go to those areas, what do you see? The nice buildings, the nice infrastructures, where TV shows are filmed, all that great stuff, right? You see all of it. But the main issue that arises is that you are living in a complete social isolated state. Isolated. Okay? You go there, you try to meet people, people don't really want to talk to you. It's like, hi, okay, nice knowing you. And they do that because, like I said before, some people already have their main group of friends and they have no need to meet anybody else. It's not personal. It's really not personal. But that's just the way it is. Some people, like, I have my 5 main friends I talk to. I don't have to meet anybody new. And they're happy with that. You know? So now you move to these big cities, and what do you see? It's the same thing I told you guys. You have the nice restaurants, you have the nice apartment complexes, you have the nice buildings, but that's all they are. They're nice items, but there's no human interactions. People will talk to you. Don't get it wrong. People will talk to you. They will say what's up. They will talk to you. But if you think you're gonna hang out with them and become cool with them, it's just not gonna happen. I'm telling you from what I've seen and what I've read and what I've been through. I'm telling you, it's not gonna happen. This is the life we live in America today. This is the life we live in America. And a lot of people like to argue and say, oh, if you can't fit in, blame yourself. I said, that's totally not true. Totally not true. Not true at all. See, people become socially awkward because society made them that way. I'll speak on that in another video. But you have to understand that there's one thing I will tell you that is great about America and in Canada, to be very honest, is that you can make a lot of money out here. You can make a lot of money. If you study the right career or you have the right job or whatever, you can make a lot of money and just live a good life. You really can. That's the benefit I say about America. You can make a lot of money. But the issue is that there's no social life. Don't get me wrong. You can do many things out here. You can do many things in America. You can go on. We have many activities, but the whole point I'm trying to relate to you guys is that there's no social interactions. Most people will talk to you because it's business related. That's when they'll talk to you, because it's business related. Okay? It's kind of like when you are, let me give you an example. Let's say now you go to a hotel, right? And you see the receptionist, right? You see her throughout your stay at that hotel. You know, she gives you smiles. She will like assist you with anything you need. Some of them will actually chat with you. Some of them will actually chat with you. Because some of them are really nice like that. Like, they're really nice people. Some of them will chat, they'll talk to you about random topics. But they're only talking to you because it's business related. You see what I mean? So she's talking to you because she's at her job. So some people, they feel great. They're like, oh, this person's really nice. This person's really cool. Guess what? I'm going to come back to this hotel in the future. Either to see this person or to be around the staff, because the staff make you feel welcomed. You see what I mean? That's the way it goes. Because it's business related, that's why they'll talk to you. It's kind of like when you go to it's kind of like when you, like if you go to a bar. The bartender may be a cool person. But guess what? That bartender is there until 2 a.m. on average. So guess what? You can sit at the bar and talk to the bartender. He'll talk to you. He'll talk to you. He'll even spend time discussing any topic you want to talk about. They'll talk to you all the time. You know why? Because you are paying them for those drinks. Because you're paying for a drink. That's why he's talking to you. And most likely give him tips. Of course he's going to talk to you. That's business related. You know what I'm talking about? That's a business related communication. This is what's going on in America these days. But people don't understand this. See, some stuff I speak on, I am seeing things that people cannot see. This is what you have to understand about the society. We are living in a state of isolation and solitude. So there's a lot of false hope out here. So you need to understand how the game is played. You have to understand how things are. So you will get a better understanding of certain things. Okay? So once you understand these things, you will determine where you want to live in the future. You know, there's some people out here, they like the culture. Because some people out here can actually fit in. There's some people who can fit in anywhere they go. They have that natural charisma. They have that. But the average person does not have that. So you have to figure out what you want to do with your life, where you want to live. Because at the end of the day, many people today are struggling inside because they have no social life. There's no interactions. People are going crazy because of this stuff. And yeah, let me think. Peace.